there's been this sort of unholy alliance in the WTO of China, India, Brazil, South Africa, essentially blocking any form of progress in these areas. And not only blocking progress, but even doing things that make no economic sense at all, even for them, which is, things like the moratorium on e-commerce. You don't want to put customs duties on e-commerce. Well, they block that. Um,
Right.
any kind of plurilateral activity, in other words, where a group of countries gets together and says, you know what, the trading system's not really dealing with this issue. We want to deal with this issue. Let's deal with it together in the context of the World Trading Organization. India and others have blocked that as well. So they've got a track record of decades of obstructionism, and that is the reason this all failed. Now, what is interesting about calling this a trade round is, if I'm a country like India or Brazil or China or whoever, and I improve my intellectual property regime because of the pressure that the Trump administration is bringing to bear, or I remove my, very bad digital policies because of the pressure the Trump administration is bringing to bear, then I can't do that, selectively for any one country. I have to do that for the whole world. I have to change my law for the whole world. So
Right.
actually, what the US will be able to do if they're successful in getting these barriers down is they get them down for the whole world.
Mm.
So this is a little bit like in the 1930s when we started this process of trying to eventually lower some of these tariffs through the Cordell Hull. He was the Secretary of State who famously embraced the sort of reciprocal approach, where you take the person who's got the most to gain from a lower tariff, which is the principal consumer of goods, and you take the principal supplier of goods, you put them together, they're going to get a really good deal, and you spread that deal through most favored nation to the whole world. That's how
Right.
the Cordell Hull system worked, and this is kind of a similar thing. It's a similar thing in the sense that if the US can do this, and again, only the US can do this, then every country in the world is going to be benefited by the
Right.
reduction of these barriers, and including the countries that have the barriers in the first place. One of the reasons you said earlier on, all the big countries, big populations, low GDP per capita. Well, why do they have low GDP per capita? Because they have these kinds of laws and
Right.
distortions and regulations in place.